Today was super exciting because our school took us on a trip to the Singapore Science Center for some extracurricular learning. The theme was aquatic plants and animals. Early in the morning, I jumped out of bed, grabbed my backpack, and got ready to go. Even though my science grades are just so-so, I've always been fascinated by marine life. Finally, I had the chance to see them up close. When we arrived at the Science Museum, the teacher led us to the ecological pond. It was full of all sorts of aquatic plants and animals, and it was totally dazzling. I saw a colorful little fish and couldn't help but shout, "Wow, teacher, what kind of fish is this?" The teacher smiled and told me that it's a guppy, an ornamental fish from South America, known for their vibrant colors and beautiful tails. I got closer to observe and notice how fast these little fish swam. Like naughty kids playing in the water, they reminded me of the troublemakers in our class, always zipping around. We continued to explore the pond, and the teacher asked us to team up and find different aquatic plants. Xiao Ming and I paired up and found a plant that looked like a tiny lotus, with round leaves floating on the water. Curious, I asked the teacher, "What kind of plant is this?" The teacher told us it's duckweed, a very common aquatic plant. Although they seem small and insignificant, they play a big role in the ecosystem. I suddenly remembered seeing similar plants in the flower pots at home and excitedly said, "Wow, they're so important. I have to check out the plants at home when I get back." In the Science Museum's lab, the teacher gave us a lesson on aquatic plants and animals. Through the microscope, we could see the cell structures of plants and various tiny aquatic organisms. It felt like I had entered a magical world. During the break, Xiao Ming and I joked, if we could shrink down to the size of these microorganisms, we could go on underwater adventures and play with the small fish. Xiao Ming laughed and said,
"Yeah, but we'd have to watch out for big fish so we don't get eaten."
After our amazing learning trip at the Science Museum, we went back to school. The teacher asked us to write about our experiences from today. Sitting in the classroom, I recalled and jotted down everything I saw. Although studying in school can sometimes be a bit boring, but like our trip to the Asian Civilization Museum, today's visit to the Science Museum also made learning fun. It would be great that we have more chance to learn this way. When I got home, I couldn't wait to share everything I learned with my mom. After listening to me, she smiled and said,
"It sounds like you learned a lot today. Remember, learning isn't just from books. Knowledge is everywhere in life."
I nodded, realizing that learning can actually be really interesting.